This is the story of a man who has become one of the most powerful and controversial figures in American politics, Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller is the Deputy Chief of Staff in the White House, a senior advisor to President Donald Trump, an essential architect of both domestic and foreign policy in the second Trump administration. Miller's influence traces back to the early days of Donald Trump's first term, where he rose from speechwriter to policy strategist, shaping some of the signature and most divisive elements of the administration's agenda. Born in California, Stephen Miller first drew attention as a politically driven student and writer. His early career included work in conservative political circles, often stirring debate with provocative commentary. Over time, he became recognized as a loyal and ideologically committed figure in the Republican Party, especially on issues of national identity, immigration, and America's role in the world. Inside the White House, Miller's ideas translated into national policy. During the first Trump administration, he was a chief architect of aggressive immigration measures, including the controversial travel restrictions targeting several majority Muslim countries and the intensification of enforcement at the U.S. southern border. Those policies won praise from supporters who saw them as decisive action to secure the border and uphold the rule of law. But critics accused Miller of promoting extreme measures that tore families apart and eroded America's legacy of openness. After Trump's return to the White House following the 2024 election, Miller's influence only grew. In his current role, he is widely seen as one of the president's closest advisors, so powerful, some describe him as Trump's de facto prime minister. That influence has extended far beyond immigration. Miller played a leading role in the U.S. military operation in Venezuela, which resulted in the capture of President Nicolás Maduro. This dramatic strike, one of the most significant actions of the Trump administration's foreign policy, thrust Miller into the center of global geopolitics. In the wake of the Venezuelan operation, Miller signaled that the United States will maintain a forceful stance in shaping outcomes in the Western Hemisphere, pushing for continued pressure on neighboring governments and influence over strategic resources. But perhaps the most startling assertion linked to Miller in recent days has come on a different front: the future of Greenland. Greenland is a vast Arctic island, currently an autonomous territory of Denmark and a NATO partner. In the past, U.S. leaders have expressed interest in strengthening ties with Greenland for strategic and economic reasons, but under this administration, that interest has taken a far more assertive turn. In public remarks, Stephen Miller has challenged the status quo, suggesting that Greenland should be part of the United States and questioning Denmark's authority over the territory. Pressed on the possibility of a military takeover, Miller declined to rule out U.S. force, instead asserting that no nation would militarily oppose the United States over Greenland's future, and framing the conversation in terms of defense and strategic priority. Those remarks have reverberated around the world. Leaders in Denmark and Europe have condemned talk of annexation as a violation of international law and sovereignty. They have reaffirmed that Greenland's future belongs to its people, not external powers. Still, Miller's position reflects a broader worldview, a belief in American strength, a willingness to challenge established norms, and a confidence that traditional diplomacy should give way to assertive action when national interests are at stake. Supporters view this approach as a necessary recalibration of American power, bold, unapologetic, and reflective of a new era of geopolitical competition. Critics see something very different: an ideological hardliner whose ideas push the limits of acceptable state conduct, risking alliances and stability in pursuit of nationalist aims. Whether one agrees with him or not, Stephen Miller has become a defining figure in the Trump White House, a strategist whose imprint is visible in the United States' approach to immigration, foreign policy, and global ambition. This is how a once behind-the-scenes advisor came to stand at the center of some of the most consequential debates in modern American politics. This is Stephen Miller.
For more such videos, subscribe to the Newsx YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.